Coming up on the Out Talk, we're going to answer that age-old question you see on every comment board with every sexual allegation. Why does it take someone so long to tell their story? Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Out Talk, your dose of talk from OutliciousTV. I'm Brian Pelletier. Be sure to subscribe to OutliciousTV on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. On YouTube, we have just passed 18,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Let's just keep going up. Thank you so much for your support. If you're watching these videos in order, you just saw the video where we spill a little tea on Bryan Singer. I talk about my couple of times where I met him. I actually stayed at his house a little bit. But I want to take it back a little before then and talk about my own story, because a lot of people always wonder when we see these Roy Moore allegations, we see these Bryan Singer allegations, we see these Kevin Spacey allegations, Anthony Edwards against Gary Goddard. People go, oh, well, why did it take so long? What's their motive? Why did they sit on this story so long? And there's a lot of reasons. One, they're kind of answering it right there. When you look at these comment boards, there's so much ridicule and doubt. People have had to sit on this for a while. They had to think about it. They sometimes have blamed themselves for being in these situations. And also, they may have told people in their lives about it already. Just because they didn't go completely public, they have been dealing with the story for a while. There aren't any ulterior motives. It's just sometimes they get triggered because they start seeing something come out more and more. Like right now we see a lot of metoo stories, and suddenly more people are like, you know what? This person told their story. Let me tell mine. You think about Kesha. Kesha told her story, and she was kind of the first person to come out with, well, not the first person in history, but, you know, a big story. So it was interesting, because then more and more people felt comfortable about it, because they saw the support that she was getting. So if you're a fan of OutliciousTV and you've watched our show Disposable Teens, I did a little featurette as an extra where I talked about my time when I was 16. I ran away from my home because I was growing up in a religious home. When I came out, ended up in California for a little bit of time, and I just kind of leave it a little vague about what happened there. But while I was there, and I was 16, I ended up in a consensual relationship with a man that was much older than me, probably in his 30s. And at the time, it was like, oh, this is fun. This guy is awesome. He's got a Ferrari. He had a Land Rover. He went to all the parties. He gave us drugs and alcohol. It was a lot of fun. A lot of, you know, you're a teenager. You're having a good time. And one night, we were supposed to go to a rave, and I was like, we took our ecstasy on our way, and they said, oh, put this in your mouth. And, you know, you're a dumb kid. You're like, okay, sure. And you find out after you took it that it was acid. So I ended up having a really bad trip. And we went back to Orange County to his condo in Huntington Beach, and the partying continued there for a bit, and I don't remember that much about that night. However, there were times I woke up while I was in the bed, and he was trying stuff with me, and I remember telling him no, and it kind of came in and out of remembering what was going on. And I do remember there was some pain. In the morning, there was definitely a little blood there. However, you still don't quite process what happened to you right away. For a little bit, I still was hanging out with him. We still went out and did things. I was like, well, he was messed up too. You don't quite see it as at first that you were being taken advantage of or that you were being assaulted. It took some time to process. When I started discussing it in my circle that I was in, that's when they ended up sending me back to New England, because I was the one causing drama. They didn't like that. I was aware of what actually was going on. So then that actually made me then realize what really happened to me and how serious it was. But for the longest time, we're talking, this is over 20 years ago, I sat on this. There were times I blamed myself. You played over in your head a million times about how you could have handled the situation differently. You can't change it. It's the past. However, it doesn't stop you from thinking about what can I do different next time. Or if if I did this, if I didn't accuse him, we could have still been together. Maybe I would have got a car out of the deal. Um, and I have a feeling that's what goes on with these situations too. People, they still playing it over in their head. They're also worried about the stigma. I got worried about stigma even very recently when I was talking to somebody about it. I said one thing about telling my story publicly is I get worried that I'm gonna get a label on me and that maybe my dating life is gonna change because people may see this video and go, "Oh, he's a victim." These things happen. In the Deadline Hollywood story, there's an anonymous quote in there from somebody because he's still pursuing his acting career. People are still worried about, taking care of themselves for the future. That they're still hiding these scars that happened to them, and it's almost like they're victimizing themselves again. I've done it to myself. It takes a while to come through, and so yeah, that's my answer on why it takes people so long. I don't know if it was clear, but you really sit on it for a while. You really blame yourself. You replay it. It takes a long time. You worry about what your parents are going to say. That is a huge factor, especially for somebody in a situation like me. Um, you can't. You're not just gonna come out and be like, "Oh my God, I was raped," because now you're also dealing with other issues. So, enough with the internet heroes. Anyways, thank you for watching the Out Talk. I'm Brian Pelletier. Have a good night.